Every year this time, I do something that I call Old Year Resolution. And I think that this year it's more important now than ever before, given the unprecedented events of this year. The word resolution, as we know, has two definitions. The first definition that I want to talk about is the one that's the most popular, where we make a resolution as a statement of what we're going to do. The thing is, that definition will not work unless you apply the definition meaning to resolve all old issues. Everything that is lingering from this year needs to be resolved. And I'm wearing my 2020 vision shirts because at the beginning of the year, this is what everybody was saying. And everybody was so excited to start this year and a new decade. And 2020 vision is real. But the vision that came with 2020 revealed a lot of things that we were not ready for, things that we did not want to believe, things that we were not ready to deal with. And so that's why we have so many people at this point in the year saying, I can't wait till this year is over. I'm just ready for next year. Next year is going to be better. But if you think back, many of you said the same thing last year. So why are we in a rut of by the end of the year, we're depleted, we're dogged out, and we're ready to just move on? That's because we're making these New Year's resolutions before we find old year resolution. What happened in 2020? What made 2020 a bad year for you? And we're not going to pick the obvious answer, which would be the pandemic and the quarantine, because your success and your purpose, your divine purpose, is not tied to the events of the world. And people who understand that and who understand how purpose works know that that is not an excuse. You know, I grew up in a house where my mother, she accepted absolutely no excuses. When I was little, I thought she was mean, because her thing was, if you don't know, find out. If you don't have it, get it. And she would say something, and before you could finish your sentence on telling her why you couldn't do it, she's giving you something else. She just did not understand excuses. And coming up that way, and now being in leadership, I hear a lot of excuses. I'm talking to people, and I'm trying to offer them a solution. And every time I give them a solution, they give me a reason why they can't apply that solution. And that's why so many of us are in the mental, physical, emotional, and financial state that we are in at this point, because we never find the solutions. I believe in manifestation. See, God is the creator, and God created everything. And I believe firmly that God did not create anything or anyone that he cannot sustain. So everything that you need is already here. It's just a matter of manifestation. Manifestation is to make it known, make it visible, to find it. And sometimes we get stuck and we get distracted, and we're looking at the bad things. We're looking at the pandemic. It's easy to blame my failures and what happened to me on the pandemic. But the difficult thing is to dig deep and find a way to go on and do it anyway. For me, 2020 has been an anyway kind of year. You should just write that down. I'm going to have an anyway kind of ending to this year. Despite everything that has happened, I'm going to win this year anyway. And as I look back on 2020, there are so many things that I had that I wanted to do this year. And I did not get to do half of the things that I wanted to do this year due to the pandemic. However, I was able to fulfill my purpose this year, because success and living on purpose is not about doing. It is about being. It's about always being able to look within and go within and be who you are called to be, no matter what. I have the By Design Network. And my thing for that is that we are all designer originals. God has called each of us to be something, to do something. And that's where we should always find ourselves. When we allow the world to dictate what we say and do, that's when we start to lose. A lot of people are waiting for things to get back to normal. Normal is overrated. Why would you want to get back to normal? Move forward to fabulous, to success. If I read my Bible and I think that everything is biblical, it applies to every aspect of your life. There's nothing in the Word that said, I would give you a normal life. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and that more abundantly. You can't be normal and abundance. You can't have a normal life and abundance at the same time. So you've got to make a decision on how you're going to live. This year has forced us to move into that direction. So this year I've added an activity. It's a link that can be downloaded from the description in this video. It is a 2020 assessment tool to look back and see. It's very detailed to really find areas where we could improve and how to position ourselves to win this year and move forward. And as you know, it is part of my Design Your Decade program. And this book, like I said, it's a 10-year planner. Sleek, smart, you can take it everywhere that you go. And the first page of this book talks about where you are. But you can't really fill out this page in terms of where you are and where you want to be at the end of this decade until you complete that assessment. So if you're interested in the full Design Your Decade program, it is available at the website www.bydesignetwork.com. So we are going to work together and we are going to make this the best 10 years of your life.